Ever get this feeling like maybe there's a secret formula to unlock a completely different life?
I know what I mean.
Like if we could just tweak our thoughts, everything would click into place. That's kind of what Rhonda Byrne's book, The Secret, is all about.
Oh yeah, The Secret.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into it, see if it holds up.
Sounds intriguing.
So first things first, what's the deal with this book? Why did it become such a phenomenon?
Well, it really struck a chord with people from all walks of life. I mean, everybody from Oprah to your mailman was talking about it.
Seriously, it was everywhere.
And it all boils down to this idea, the law of attraction.
Okay, I've definitely heard that term thrown around.
Simply put, it's the idea that your thoughts and feelings have this magnetic pull drawing in similar experiences.
So like if I'm constantly thinking negative thoughts.
You're more likely to attract negative experiences.
Makes sense. But how exactly does that work? Is it really as easy as thinking happy thoughts and then, boom, it's a good life?
Well, it's not quite magic, but the basic principle revolves around aligning your energy with what you desire.
Energy. Okay, getting a little esoteric here.
Think of it like a TV, right?
Yeah.
Your thoughts and emotions are like that dial, constantly tuning you into a specific frequency.
Like I'm scrolling through channels of life experiences.
Exactly.
So if I'm stuck in a negative mindset.
You're going to be tuned into a channel full of, well, let's just say less than ideal programming.
Days of our disappointments, that kind of thing.
Pretty much. But on the flip side, positive thoughts, those tune you into channels broadcasting amazing opportunities and joyful encounters.
So I need to find the remote control for my own mind.
You already have it. The key is becoming aware of it. Because here's the thing about this law of attraction. It's not something you turn on or off. It's always running.
Always.
Like gravity, whether you're conscious of it or not.
So no matter what's going through my head, the universe is like one order of that coming right up.
That's a little intimidating.
That's why it's so important to become aware of those thought patterns. Because you're not just along for the ride, you're the one behind the wheel.
Steering toward whatever I focus on, for better or worse.
Precisely.
Okay, I can see that. So what about those days when, like, it feels like the universe is messing with you?
You mean like those days that just survive and keep getting worse?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spill your coffee, trip on the sidewalk, your computer crashes. It's like a cosmic comedy of errors.
That's a perfect example of how a negative spiral can gain momentum. It's like the universe says, oh, you're thinking negative thoughts, here's some matching experiences.
You stub your toe, and instead of brushing it off, you think, ugh, this day is cursed.
And bam, more bad stuff happens.
But the good news is, you're not powerless to stop it.
So what, I'm supposed to just be like, oh, spilled coffee, no biggie, it's all good.
It's about shifting your energy, yeah. Finding a positive perspective, even if it feels forced at first.
So instead of freaking out about the coffee stain, I could be like, ooh, cool abstract art project.
Exactly. You're changing the channel on your emotional remote. Choose laughter, find the silver lining, and see what happens.
Okay, that makes sense. But The Secret doesn't just tell us about this law of attraction, does it? Doesn't go a step further.
It does. It actually provides a sort of roadmap, a step-by-step process for manifesting your desires.
Okay, so we're talking full-on genie in a bottle, wishing on a star stuff now.
Not quite. It's more about understanding that the universe is always listening to your requests, which you make through your thoughts, words, and actions.
Right. So what are these steps?
3 main ones. Ask, believe, receive.
Okay, let's start with ask. What does that actually look like?
It means being crystal clear about what you want. Not just vaguely wishing for things, but articulating your desires with intention.
So instead of saying, I wish I had more money, I'd say, what?
Something like, I am so happy and grateful now that I have financial abundance.
Wow, that feels a little weird to say when it's not true yet.
And that's where the second step comes in. Believe.
Believe.
Right. It's not enough to just ask. You have to truly embody the feeling of already having what you want.
So even though I don't have $1 million in the bank right now, I should act as if it's already on its way.
Exactly. Engage all your senses. If it's a new house you want, visualize yourself living in it, cooking in the kitchen, watering the plants.
Okay, so I put my request out there. I'm feeling those good feelings. Now what? Does the universe just like hand deliver my desires on a silver platter?
Well, not exactly. That's where the third step comes in. Receive.
Receive. Okay. What does that entail?
It's about being open to receiving. Cultivating a sense of gratitude, feeling the joy of having your desires fulfilled even before you see the physical manifestation.
So it's about creating space in my life for those desires to show up.
Precisely. And trusting that the universe will deliver in its own time. Now, The Secret goes on to explore how this law of attraction plays out in different areas of life.
I like what?
Well, finances, for one.
Right, because who couldn't use a little help in that department, am I right?
There's this great story in the book about a guy named David Shermer who could supposedly manifest parking spaces.
Seriously. Like he'd just think about a parking space and one would magically appear.
He'd visualize an empty space right where he needed it, and more often than not, he'd find one.
No way.
It's like he'd trained his mind to expect abundance, even in something as simple as finding a parking spot.
That's wild. And did he go on to manifest bigger things?
He did. He
Oh.
applied the same principles to his finances, focusing on abundance and prosperity rather than lack.
So instead of worrying about bills, he'd focus on, like, winning the lottery.
Not necessarily winning the lottery, but feeling abundant and expecting prosperity. The Secret challenges us to shift our thinking around money.
Because if you're constantly thinking, I can't afford that, you're basically telling the universe, don't give me nice things.
Exactly. It's about retraining your brain to expect abundance.
Easier said than done, right?
It takes practice. And it's not just about money. The book also talks about using these principles in relationships.
Oh, that's interesting.
There's a story about an art director who was having no luck in love. And get this, he had all these paintings in his home of women who were like turned away from him.
Oh, no. Talk about a visual representation of his love life.
Right, so he replaced those paintings with images that reflected the kind of loving, connected relationship he desired.
And what happened?
His dating life started to shift to reflect those changes. He started attracting different types of partners.
It's like he sent a message to the universe, like, hey, this is the vibe I'm going for now.
Exactly. The book also talks about the power of appreciation in relationships.
Mean what exactly?
Focusing on what you appreciate about your partner, rather than dwelling on their flaws, that positive focus can actually amplify those good qualities.
So instead of nitpicking every little thing, I should be, like, showering my partner with compliments.
Well, it's not just about compliments. It's about genuinely appreciating who they are. And The Secret doesn't shy away from bigger, more complex issues either.
Like what? World peace.
It even delves into health and well-being.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's this amazing story about Morris Goodman. He was in a plane crash, and the doctors told him he'd probably never walk again.
That's awful.
But Morris refused to accept their prognosis. He visualized himself walking, and eventually he did walk again.
No way. That's incredible. That's some serious mind over matter stuff right there.
It's a testament to the power of belief. The book also touches on this idea that we might have more control over aging than we think.
Wait, are you saying we can think ourselves young again?
If our cells are constantly regenerating, why do we accept wrinkles and declining health as inevitable? The Secret encourages us to question those assumptions.
I like the way these guys think. So what else? What other big life-altering ideas does The Secret throw at us?
Well, it also tackles this idea of our interconnectedness, not just with each other, but with something much greater than ourselves.
So we're all connected, like a big, happy cosmic web.
Exactly. The book uses the metaphor of an iceberg. What we see on the surface is just a tiny fraction of what lies beneath.
Our true nature is like this vast, untapped potential, just waiting to be explored.
Precisely.
Okay, so The Secret is telling us we're capable of pretty much anything we set our minds to.
Yeah.
But how do we actually tap into that power?
Well, it talks about the power of I am statements.
I am statements. What are those?
Those two simple words carry a lot of weight. They're like declarations to the universe.
So like every time I say I am, I'm sending out a signal that attracts similar experiences.
Exactly.
So we really got to be mindful of what comes after those two little words, I am.
Exactly. They're like crazy powerful, those words.
The Secret suggests using empowering affirmations, right?
Yeah, things like I am whole, I am powerful, I am abundant.
Basically replacing those negative thought loops with something more positive.
Exactly. You're basically rewiring your subconscious, aligning it with those high vibe qualities.
Like giving those positive thoughts a megaphone to shout over the negative ones.
I like that analogy. But it does make you wonder, if this law of attraction is always on, why aren't we all living our best lives already?
Right. If it were that easy, everyone would be winning the lottery and hanging out on yachts.
It's one thing to understand the concept, but it's another to truly live it.
So how do we bridge that gap? How do we go from reading about it to actually experiencing it?
It's like anything else worth having. It takes effort, consistency, and a willingness to really look at yourself.
Yeah, like identify those deeply rooted beliefs that might be holding us back.
Exactly. Become aware of your thoughts, your words, the energy you're projecting out into the world.
It's about taking responsibility for our own energy,
Right.
owning it.
Exactly. And once you start to align with that deeper understanding, it's like this whole new reality opens up to you.
So the secret is basically giving us a new set of lenses to view the world, a new perspective.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
about recognizing your own power, your ability to shape your reality. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the secret.
I agree.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Just remember, your thoughts and feelings are powerful. You are an integral part of this incredible universe, and you have within you the ability to create a life that truly lights you up.
So true. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another exploration into the unknown.
See you then.